3 years I was the guy every girl called her best friend. The guy she vented to at midnight about the guy she actually liked. The guy who showed up. Who remembered everything. Who never missed a birthday. Who was always there, always available, always understanding. And for 3 years I went home alone. If that sentence hit something inside you just now, keep watching. Because what I'm about to tell you is something I wish someone had sat me down and said at 18 years old. It would have saved me years of confusion, frustration, and quietly hating myself for reasons I couldn't even fully explain. This is the story of how I became the nice guy. How I lived there for 3 years thinking it was a virtue. And the single moment that cracked everything open and showed me the truth that nobody around me was willing to say out loud. Let's go back to the beginning. Her name was Nadia. We met in the first week of college. She was funny, smart, the kind of girl who said exactly what she was thinking without apologizing for it. We clicked immediately. Conversations that lasted hours. Inside jokes within the first week. Her friends teased her about how much time she spent with me. My friends kept asking me when I was going to tell her how I felt. And I kept saying, soon. I'm waiting for the right moment. Here's the truth. There was no right moment. There was just fear dressed up as patience. I was terrified that if I said something, if I stepped out of the safe, comfortable zone we'd built, she'd pull back. I'd lose what we had. And what we had felt like something. So I protected it by never risking it. I stayed in the friend zone not because she put me there, but because I built the walls myself and then wondered why I couldn't get out. One night we were sitting on the roof of her apartment building. Just the two of us. Good energy, the kind of moment that only exists once. And she turned to me and said, "You know what I love about you? You're so safe. You're like the most comfortable person I've ever met." Safe, comfortable. I smiled, said thank you, and felt something hollow open up in my chest that I didn't understand until much later. She wasn't describing attraction. She was describing furniture. 2 weeks later she started dating someone. A guy the first knew. He wasn't particularly smart or particularly sensitive. He didn't remember her coffee order or check in when she was stressed. He had opinions that sometimes clashed with hers. He cancelled plans once when something came up and didn't apologize 14 times about it. He was, by my own mental scorecard at the time, doing everything wrong. I remember lying in bed that night actually writing a mental list of everything I did better than him. As if I could logic my way into understanding attraction. As if there was a scorecard and I was winning it and the result was just being calculated wrong somewhere. And then my older cousin called me that night. Random timing. I told him what happened. And he listened to the whole thing, my list, my confusion, my frustration, and when I finished he said something so simple and so brutal that I actually had to sit up. He said, "Bro, she doesn't owe you anything just because you were nice to her. Nice isn't a currency. You weren't being her friend. You were making an investment and expecting a return she never agreed to pay. That's not kindness. That's a transaction you were running in secret." I wanted to hang up. I genuinely wanted to tell him he was wrong. But the words just sat there in my chest like something heavy. And I couldn't move them. He was right. Every single thing I had done, the late night calls, the remembering everything, the always being available, it wasn't coming from a pure place. It was coming from a strategy. A quiet, desperate strategy that said, if I give enough, if I'm good enough, if I make myself indispensable enough, eventually she'll choose me. I was keeping score in a game she didn't know she was playing. And that is not love. That is not even genuine friendship. That is fear of rejection wearing the costume of generosity. And somewhere underneath all of it, the deepest truth, I didn't actually believe I was enough to just say what I wanted directly. So I tried to earn my way in through the side door. That was the night I decided to stop being the nice guy. Not to become mean, not to become cold or selfish or the kind of guy who treats people badly. But to dismantle the specific version of nice that was actually just fear with better PR. Here is what I changed. And listen to this carefully because this is the part that actually matters. I stopped making myself endlessly available. Not to play hard to get. But because I genuinely started filling my life with things that deserved my time and energy. I picked up things I had been putting off. Goals I had been postponing. Friendships I had been neglecting because I was too focused on one person who hadn't asked for that level of devotion. My world got bigger. And when your world gets bigger, you naturally become less available. Not strategically, genuinely. I started saying what I actually thought. Not aggressively, not rudely, but honestly. If I disagreed, I said so calmly. If I didn't want to do something, I said so without 20 minutes of justification. If I was interested in someone, I said so directly without months of positioning first. This terrified me initially. I had spent years managing every interaction to make sure nobody ever had a reason to reject me. And something unexpected happened. People respected me more, not less, more. Because there is something about a man who says what he means, who doesn't twist himself into whatever shape the room seems to require, that people find genuinely compelling. I stopped treating women like objectives, like destinations I was navigating toward, and started treating them like people. Interesting, complex, full people, who I either connected with or didn't. And both outcomes were fine. Not something I said to myself to feel better. Actually fine, because my sense of worth had finally stopped living inside someone else's answer. The next girl I was genuinely interested in, I told her within 2 weeks. Not a grand speech, not a rehearsed moment, just honest. Hey, I like you. I wanted you to know that. She said she liked me too. Not because I had finally cracked the code of attraction, but because I had finally shown up as an actual person with actual feelings expressed directly, instead of a strategy operating underneath the surface of friendship. Here is the real message underneath all of this. The nice guy is not actually nice. He is scared. He is running a covert operation hoping that enough goodness will eventually earn him what he was too afraid to ask for directly. And women, even when they can't consciously name it, feel the agenda underneath the kindness. They feel the transaction, and it creates exactly the dynamic you are desperately trying to avoid. Because you cannot build real attraction on hidden expectation. It collapses under its own weight every single time. Real kindness has no invoice attached to it. Real confidence asks for what it wants without needing to earn the right to want it first. Real connection happens between two people who are both fully honest about who they are and what they're looking for, not between one person performing friendship while secretly hoping for something else. 3 years. 3 years of being safe. Being comfortable. Being the furniture in someone else's love story. Never again. Stop being the nice guy. Start being the real one. Say what you mean. Show up as who you are. Ask for what you want. And let people respond to the actual version of you, not the curated, managed, I'll wait forever version that's been quietly destroying your confidence one unavailable night at a time. You are enough to be chosen. But they can only choose someone they can actually see. Let him see you. Drop a comment right now. Have you ever been the nice guy? Have you ever kept score in a game the other person didn't know they were playing? Be honest. You're not alone. I read every single comment. And if this story hit something real for you, if it cracked something open, go watch the video on 7 reasons she was into you then suddenly went cold.